So what's up, party animals? My name is Felix, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some guitar samples in FL Studio. It's going to be pretty rad. This is going to be for acoustic guitar or electric guitar. Either one is fine, whatever you got. But yeah, so I'm going to show you how to record for both acoustic and electric. So you should be set, making some fire stuff. If you just want to know how to do acoustic or you just want to know how to do electric, I'll put a timestamp somewhere, like in the video or in the description, where you can go click on that and then you can get right to your thing that you want to learn. But it's good to learn both anyways. So yeah, basically the things you're going to need for electric is you're going to need, obviously you're going to need computer, FL Studio, guitar, all that stuff. And then you're also going to need an interface, and pretty much that's it. You also need a cable, but if you have an electric guitar, chances are you also have an amp. So you probably have a cable anyways, because it's the same cable that you plug into your amp. So yeah, should be good. And then for acoustic, all you're gonna need is a microphone and an acoustic guitar and all the other computer and stuff. Let's get right into it, brothers. Start off with electric because that's what I do most. Alright, so basically the first step is you're gonna want to obviously grab your guitar, and then you're going to want to take your cable, the one that I was talking about, this one here, and you're gonna want to plug it into your guitar. Like this, like so. You can't really see it, but you're going to want to plug in the other end of the cable into your interface, which I've got going on over here. And then once you have that set up, you're going to go into your FL Studio, and you're going to go into the mixer, and then you're going to go up here and select in one. And now, whatever you play will play in here as well, which is pretty dope. You might think you want to do a stereo because like stereo for instruments and guitar and stuff, but no, what that will actually do is it will only play in one ear, and I had trouble figuring that out when I first started recording guitar too. But yeah, basically just put it in mono. So there's a couple different ways you can go about making your actual guitar sample. Sometimes I like to make a backup track, just a little simple two-step pattern with the hi-hats and then like a clap, just to get like a rhythm going so you can record to. Or unless you have something already in mind, like a chord progression in mind, but you don't have a specific tempo in mind, then you can kind of just record the progression and then figure out the tempo from there. What I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to do the method that I just talked about, because I actually have a chord progression in mind. So what you want to do up here is you want to make sure this is still selected, whatever insert you're recording off of, and then you're going to click this thing, and then you're going to go audio into play this as an audio clip. Okay, so that actually took me a few tries. That was actually a little quicker than I usually take, because depending on how good you are at guitar to begin with, it'll usually take you a while to get it down perfectly. But if you don't get it down like perfectly, which nothing is ever going to be completely perfect when you record guitar, because it's like a very natural, like human instrument, obviously. But that doesn't mean we can't go in and slice it and adjust certain things, which we will do. So for this one, I didn't have a metronome going, but if you want to have a metronome, you just go up here and click this little thingy, and then it'll put the metronome on when you record. What I'm going to do is, all these takes here are the takes that I didn't want, so I'm going to go over here and get this one, which is the one I did want. And that sounds good, so I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to move it up over here. And you want to make sure your stretch is off when you're slicing the actual thing. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to adjust the tempo and try to figure out the actual tempo of this sample. So what you can actually do is you can double click on it and adjust this thingy. And that sounds about right. This probably should be in half speed rather than like double speed or whatever the heck it's called. But yeah, this is about right. There's certain little things here and there that I could change, but for the most part right now, this looks about good. So I'm gonna put that down the guitar now so I can make some little changes here and there. So the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna adjust certain parts of this so that it lines up kind of perfectly with the lines. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna normalize it so you can kind of see each and every part. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna click on generic bleeding, and then I'm gonna click on auto, because if you click on, first of all, if you click on the generic bleeding thing, that means that you're not gonna get phase clicks when you cut it. So it's going to flow smoothly between different like chops that you have. And then if you put it on auto, it's not going to change the pitch of it when you stretch it out. So it's going to stay the same pitch, which is two things you want. Okay, so basically I had to re-record that because it was getting like these clicky noises for whatever reason in the sample. But I fixed it now, so it should be fine. This little part in the beginning is a little bit off, but for the most part it doesn't really matter. If something's a little bit off the line, you can just kind of keep it, but if it's way off, you should probably adjust it. In trap music, it's more common for everything to kind of hit on the line, so for beats like that, you kind of want to make like even small adjustments right on the line. But for different things like indie music or like rock music or whatever other type of music, usually you can have a little leeway because you want it to sound more like human and less robotic. So for this, I'm just gonna keep it a little bit loose because this can be whatever style you really want it to be. So I'm gonna go in here and adjust this because this is like bothering me. So you're gonna make unique, and then you're gonna go in here and then go like that, and there you go. That one's lined up. Okay, enough. And this one's a little in front, so I'm gonna adjust this too, just because I'm a perfectionist. Also, there's designated keys on your keyboard that you can click to go back and forth between the things at the top. But for me, at least, I'm not really in the habit of doing that, so I just usually go up here and click on these. So now that we've got this all set up, what we're gonna do is line this up to the end, make sure this is good, and then I'm going to go into the master and I'm going to put an Edison on it. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to record the audio. And now that we have that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this at the beginning, just so it cuts out this empty part, and then I'm going to go to the end to cut it right before it starts up again. And so now you can pull this in, and there's not going to be any of the cuts that you made in the middle. So it's just going to be one sample, all good. And then what you can do is you can delete this, and then you see how there's all this stuff over here. You can go up to Tools, and then Macros, and then Purge Unused Audio Clips, and then it's going to get rid of all that other stuff. So now you don't need any of that other stuff, just like clogging up your thing, because anytime you'll load up the project, it'll have a bunch of these things that it's got to load in. So now you just have this one, and what you can do here is you can do Control L and put it in a mixer. So now you've got this chilling here in a mixer. So basically once you have this in a mixer, then you can start putting effects and stuff on it. I'm going to put some reverb on it as usual. So that sounds good. I'm going to put some EQ on it as well. So now that I have that, I'm going to maybe put a chorus on it. That might sound good as well. And then I'm just going to make it a little more stereo as well. So now you have your electric guitar all finished up with all the effects on it and everything. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to record an acoustic guitar to go along with it. It's going to sound real good and nice and harmonious. But before I do that, I'm going to actually add just a little drum track to make it sound like an actual song. Alright, so I made this little drum track, super simple, just to kind of give it some more rhythm, some more bounce. So now that you have that, I'm going to show you how to do the acoustic guitar one now, because all you really need is a microphone. And with that one, I'm not going to record the same kind of thing. I'm going to record just kind of a top melody to go over it, but it's the same concept basically. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your mic and you're going to plug it into your Computadora, and then if you had just used an interface, it will keep using your interface when you plug this in. So what you want to do is you want to either turn off the interface. You can either turn off the interface or you can unplug it. Either way works fine. So now for the acoustic guitar, you're probably going to want to bust out the headphones because you don't want your microphone to be picking up the track while you're playing in the background. You just want to have that guitar, just the guitar that you're recording. So yeah, the first thing is you want to have your mic like not too close to the guitar but not too far away. You want to have it a decent enough distance where it can pick up the sound well and be all nice and good. And the next thing is you'll probably notice that this thing has already switched to my microphone when I undid my interface. You don't have to mess with anything there, but if you're just plugging it in, it's the same thing as the interface. You just go here and then you click 1 and then you should be good. Also, another thing is once you click on this track or once you plug in your microphone, you might be hearing yourself talk, or you might be hearing like other noises going on or when you're playing. What you want to do is you just want to click on this. Once it looks like this, click on it like that, and then it'll disconnect the playback. It won't mess with anything when you're recording. It'll just disconnect the playback, so you're not thrown off by that little bit of delay when you're recording. So basically now all you have to do is the same procedure that you did with the electric guitar. where we go here and then go to audio as playlist, blah blah blah, and then you can record your stuff. And usually it takes a little bit to figure out a kind of a counter melody, a top melody. But for me, what I do is I just play the track that I already recorded with the guitar in the background, and then I kind of just play along notes on the acoustic or electric if I'm recording another melody on the electric, and just see what notes fit in. It might take a while to get a pattern that you like, but once you do, it'll be pretty satisfying and pretty nice and pretty good. So I'm gonna record this here. Okay, so I think that sounded good. I'm gonna check it to see. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same procedure that we did with the electric guitar, where I chopped it and sliced it to make it fit into the lines better, and then I'll get back to you. So I just took the whole acoustic guitar sample and I chopped it so it fits better with the whole beat. What I'm going to do now actually is I'm going to solo this. And then I'm going to take this first part and I'm going to find a place where there's a little bit of noise, because what we want to do is we want to cut out as much of that noise as we can, because whenever you're recording with a microphone, there's usually going to be like a little bit of noise at least. Alright, so I found a place where there's a little bit of noise right here at this beginning part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another Edison. I can delete this one. I'm going to bring in a new one, and I'm going to record the sample with that part of the noise so that I can cut it out later. Now that we have the noise part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little red thingy. I'm going to select the part where there's just noise, so like right here, and then I'm going to click this little brush thing, and then I'm going to click Acquire Noise Profile. And then once I have that, I'm going to get rid of the red bar by dragging it like to the beginning. And then you're going to go back in here, and then you're going to make sure this denoiser is on, and then make your settings pretty much just like this. Maybe you can up this a little bit, and then just click accept. And what that is going to do is that'll take out a decent amount of the noise. So for me, I did it like 3 or 4 times because it had this really bad like electrical noise thing going on. But you're not going to be able to get the noise out completely. It's just important to take out as much as you can so that doesn't sound low quality. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the part where it's the actual sample that I cut down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and then drag it in. And now we have our acoustic sample. What we can go in here and do is the same thing we did with the electric guitar, where we go to Tools, Macros, and then Purge Unused Audio Clips, which is a super nice feature. Now instead of having like 50 million tracks, you only have this one that you worked on. I'm going to group these together. As you can see, there's a little bit at the end here. We can just cut that off like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a mixer track alongside the other one, and now you have both of these going. I'm also going to put all the drums into their own mixer track as well. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a compression on it, and that is just going to basically keep everything like pretty level instead of having like all of these like really loud audio waves here and there, and little transient peaks and all that extra stuff. So I'm going to grab a fruity compressor and then maybe bring it down to like 28, and then pop one of these. So now we have our compressor on that bad boy. What we can do is we can go in here, add an EQ. And what I think I'm going to do with the EQ is I'm going to EQ out some of the top end, because that's where like a lot of the little noise is sitting. So now that we have that, I'm going to add just some more effects, and we're pretty much going to be done. Maybe a chorus as well. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for all you need to know about making guitar beats. Hopefully I covered everything in this video that you wanted me to cover. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, on Soundcloud if you wish. Those will be in the description, along with a link to a playlist of songs I produced, all that good stuff. You know, like and subscribe, all that stuff, you know, turn on the notifications, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.